Good morning, wrestling fans, and welcome to PWR today, the man they call Meathead, or Senor Quebasa de Carne, and Matthew Thomas. Good morning, Matthew.
The king of the sausage is what that translates to in Matthew. Good morning. That intro was on fire.
Yeah. Dare we say, en fuego.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, it's Cabeza de Carne. I've always gotten it goofed up, but I believe it's the head of meat. Cabeza de Carne. Yeah.
I tell you what, man, this is, we really need to work on that bilingual podcast because that's the way this one's starting out.
Yeah, we're really on fire here this morning to get started. Let's move into the sponsor, the Red Hot Collar and Elbow. Go ahead, Matthew.
Absolutely. Collar and Elbow brand.com is where you can go to find your latest and greatest wares. I perused the website last night and there were a couple new additions. So, I mean, that's a thing you need to make
like
that
Bobby
part.
Brown?
Yeah, I think there's a new Bobby Brown Collar and Elbow brand shirt, if I'm not mistaken. You need to make that part of your daily routine. Just the same way you think about bathing and brushing your teeth. I found out recently some people actually do brush their teeth in the shower. Are you aware of this phenomenon, Meathead?
I know of it. I actually shave in the shower.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. The brushing of the teeth in the shower, but I guess it makes sense. You don't necessarily need to look at your teeth. When you're, and I'll tell you how I found out about this was I was actually snooping around in someone's bathroom a while back, and I found a toothbrush in the shower, and that's literally how I found out about this phenomenon. But anyway, you need to make it part of your daily care routine. If you want to brush your teeth or shower, go to collarandelbowbrand.com, see what new they have dropping. Just fit it into your daily routine because here's the thing. You might wake up one day and there'd be a shirt that you want, and then everybody and their brother gets it, and, hey, you're out of luck. So part of your daily routine, collarandelbowbrand.com, enter promo code LindaKay, LINDAKAY, saves you 10% off.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk a little bit more about what's coming up this Saturday. I mean, of course, I feel like I'm, saying it ad nauseum, but we've got some new details on the Waukesha t-shirts that are out there. You can get these online, by the way. Head on over to blizzardbrawl.com, and there should be a link right there for Hanson Screen Printing. If you're not able to make the show this Saturday and you still want to support the, I don't want to use the word victim, but if you want to support the folks that folks that were offended, or oh my God, I'm making it worse. If you want to support the folks that were affected by everything that happened at the Waukesha Christmas parade, head on over to blizzardbrawl.com. I might have to have you take over here, Matthew, because I'm stumbling over my words. I just want to get it right, and I got it wrong. But anyway, these Waukesha t-shirts, $25, and all the proceeds are going to help support the people that have been affected.
No, absolutely. And I know that is going to be one of the first things I do when I get to Milwaukee is grab me one of those shirts.
10-4. All right. Waukesha, home of the Blizzard Brawl. Walk strong. All right. Matthew, the media is ramping up, obviously, for Blizzard Brawl as well. Our guy, Adam Shearer, the Titan, was on Talking to the Gun Show for the local WTMJ NBC affiliate, Channel 4. Media is on, again, no pun intended, on fire as well for Blizzard Brawl. There may be some seats that come available Saturday morning when the ring is put in and the seating arrangement is made at the building again. But right now, all we have for sale are standing room onlys.
So what you're saying, Meathead, is once the fire marshal clears it out, you might be able to put some more seats in there, huh?
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Let's talk a little bit of news real quick. That promo that Liv Morgan had on Monday night on Raw, it was probably the most on fire Liv Morgan's ever been as far as on the microphone. But some of her comments were too hot to handle, and they were too cold to hold, and they got removed from YouTube in the edited version of that promo on YouTube.
Question. I know this is the news, but have they altered Edge's promo? Because Edge made a reference in the Miz promo about Morrison getting fired.
Nope. Didn't mention it. But to be honest, I wouldn't doubt it's going to happen. So, and speaking of, and thank you for the segue, the Edge promo with Miz and Maurice is staring at us right in front of us. We didn't even mention it, didn't even think it. he's probably going to get some help because she was in gear, Miz was in gear, Edge was in gear, but Edge's wife is missing. Beth Phoenix, I'm pretty sure we're getting a mixed couples tag team match coming up.
Probably.
I'm not against it. I mean, I love Beth Phoenix.
Yeah, no, it just, I don't know. The mixed tags to me always feel like a special attraction, and that's fine. I guess the thing of it is like I look at Edge and you just gotta, I mean, I hope he wrestles for 40 more years, but based on his promos and stuff, you got to think, okay, the guy's got a limited amount of matches, in the
This
tank.
called it out. He said every time Edge shows up on TV, it's the return of Edge, the return of Edge. He's just coming back for pops.
Yeah. And, here's the thing. I imagine this is something he really wants to do, and probably Miz and Maurice want to do too. So more power to him. I don't think any of us can say, hey, you shouldn't do that because he should be in a feud with somebody else. Hey, man, the dude's come back. He wants to do it. So, more power to him.
Yep. Let's talk about AEW Dynamite last night. And again, all the fire references will be paid off at the end of this review here. The first notes from AEW Dynamite last night, JR battling some health issues, and he will be off the air for a while. So obviously the guy's throwing out something to JR get well soon. Good old JR, Jim Ross. The opening match, Alan Angels against Bryan Danielson. Alan Angels 5 is from the Atlanta area, and Bryan Danielson promised us that he was going to stomp his head in. Bryan Danielson delivered. It's announced. It's official. Tony Khan said in 2 weeks' time, at Winter is coming. It won't be the re-debut of Sting, but it will be the AEW Heavyweight Championship. And here's the thing that, Matthew, I want to hear your opinion on. We haven't seen Adam Page wrestle since he won the belt.
Yeah. Hey, I think that's the way it should be done. I really do. I don't need to see the champion wrestle except when the title's on the line. I like that style of booking. I don't think that, it's needed. So I think his use since he's won that title, especially since we're going to get him and Danielson, a month removed from him winning the title, I think he's being featured just fine. So I'm all for that. How he was used in commentary last night.
I want him on TV every week. But
yeah, I think was fine. I mean, what they're doing each week, they're putting him on TV each week to remind people that's the champion and to let him get that pop. And man, I think that they had a potential to actually backtrack a little bit with him on commentary, just because it's a risk. I mean, Page is a very, very solid promo, a very, very believable promo, but commentary is a different ball game, and it's not a role that he's been featured, very prominently on. And I think you've got
never done.
Yeah,
and honest, I don't recall it.
You've got people that can get away with it. I mean, Jericho, Punk, Ricky Starks is doing a great job. Yeah, but it's something that I was concerned that having somebody debut doing it as the champion, it could go wrong. But it was not too much or too little. I mean, it was the Goldilocks of the amount of commentary. He was out there to perpetuate the Bryan Danielson storyline. He was the porridge. Right. So. I think the way that they used him and MJF last night was very, very appropriate.
Tony Khan also mentioned that the two of them can't touch, that being Adam Page and Bryan Danielson. So Johnny Hungy came out and said, he didn't tell me I couldn't touch, which sets us up for next week. And I had wrongly said that AEW had already run the building that Raw was in this last Monday. AEW's going there next week, the exact same building in Long Island. And they've already sold more tickets than Raw had in attendance this last Monday. So I think WWE is in trouble because what? AEW is gonna come right into that building the week after and show that the wrestling fan is excited for wrestling there.
Yeah. And the thing of it is, I mean, just watch any Dynamite, watch any Raw program. Very rarely do you have segments or spots or matches where the WWE crowd is not sitting down
and leaning to the side. Dude, NXT specifically 2 nights ago, they were talking to each other in the front row. Yeah. So how's your mom? She makes a great macaroni and cheese. Oh yeah, that was a good spot. Oh, I loved it when she used to butter my biscuit all the time. Yeah. That's what's going on there. AEW, watching the show.
And I'll tell you what's very interesting about NXT now too. And I mean, not saying this is good or bad one way or another, but I guess with it being so well lit and so small in NXT, you notice the large amount of children there.
Yeah.
I mean,
to be honest,
yeah.
NXT crowd, folks, look at this NXT crowd. That is half of what's going to be at Blizzard Brawl this week.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, honestly, you know, with the younger crowd in such a small setup, a lot of times NXT, it looks like, you know, an audience for a kid's TV show.
Absolutely. I was weirdly entertained by Miro on white screen walking around in purgatory.
It's because AEW really doesn't do much heavy production promos. This is about as high production as AEW gets. So it was definitely a different step for AEW.
It's okay. Still entertaining. MJF joining commentary with Excalibur and Shivani, and the match is CM Punk and Lee Moriarty. MJF getting the chance to run down Punk for a solid, 9-10 minutes on the microphone uninterrupted. And then Punk came back. I have a question for you, and this bothers me a little bit, bringing up Britt Baker over and over. They've acknowledged on TV that Britt Baker is with Adam Cole.
Yeah.
MJF's a heel, Britt Baker's a heel, Adam Cole's a heel. How is it that Adam Cole has not come out to defend his wife?
Yeah. No, this is.
I don't know if they're married or not, but that's not my point.
And honestly, like all the references during the MJF Punk promo last night to Britt Baker, just it didn't seem to really do anything. I mean, it did not seem in good taste. It seemed very unneeded, and it seemed
very Lex Luger in a wheelchair is what it seemed.
Yeah, it was very, very lazy. But I think the story of this match was Punk struggled. I mean, Punk was, basically on the defensive 75-80% of this match, and he was ultimately able to put him away. But I'll tell you, there were moments where, I'm thinking, okay, Punk's first loss is going to mean something. Maybe it's going to come here. And then maybe the story you go to from there is, can Punk, after he's lost the match, beat MJF? That was not what we got. But my goodness, this was not an easy match for Punk.
Afterwards, yes, there's back and forth, needle dick and all that. They go directly to Britt Baker. Zero acknowledgement.
Yeah.
What's going on here? That's the flow of the show was just off for me last night.
Yeah. Now that whole, I don't think Britt Baker should ever be mentioned in Punk and MJF. Like it's
never
just,
again.
It was
strange, funny the first time, not funny last night.
Yeah.
So all right, and then who came out afterwards? Adam Cole, baby. Zero mention. Now, here's what I also don't understand. I know why they do it, but it doesn't make any sense from a wrestling fan perspective. Adam Cole is going to join us on commentary. Oh, no, wait, he's going to the ring. Boom. Adam Cole, baby. All right, he's back.
Yeah.
Why did he go to the ring?
Don't know.
I said, something was off last night.
Yeah. I mean, and they were trying to get a lot done. We had 4 big matches announced, and it was that and then some. It felt like AEW was a little bit of kind of NXT 2.0 all over the place, with trying to fit as much as they possibly could in their 2 hours, which is not their normal formula.
All right, 10 pounds in a 5-pound bag.
Yep.
So what ended up happening is Adam Cole gets up there. There's no match. Adam Cole is there to jaw with Orange Cassidy. Here comes the Bucks sneaking in. After a couple Orange Cassidy pretend kicks, they gave him the BTE.
Yeah, it was there. It's not. I don't know. I'm not overly looking forward to where this is going to. I want to see Cole a little more to himself. I want to see Cole in a kind of a main event one-on-one feud. And, I know AEW is the company of stables, and we're probably going to get Best Friends versus the Super Click, but I'm not as excited about this as I could with other possibilities of Cole.
All right. So saving MJF in the MJF, by the way, we never answered it out loud here on the program, but Larry is his dog, Matthew. I don't know if you've ever caught on to that. When he wears Larry on his shirts, it's his dog. Yeah. I thought he was going to say, I'm going to punch your dog, but he was going to put his dog to sleep. That was a fantastic line, by the way. Wardlow defended him, and now Wardlow's got a match with Shawn Spears against AC Adams. This, honestly, my description of it is probably going to be longer than the match itself.
Yeah, no, very possible. I don't see this getting a ton of time.
I'm done. That's it. And that's how long the match was.
Yeah, no, it was really, really quick.
Shivani interviews Penta El Zero Miedo and Pac. Ray Phoenix got injured, and then Pac's missing an eyeball. So he might want to go talk to Seth Rollins or even Rey Mysterio to see how he comes back from missing eyeballs. But they got a match coming up on Rampage. Now, the match that I really was excited to see, and I love this part. I absolutely love. Sting updates his face paint, and so does Darby. They seem to blend their face paints together. Fantastic.
You know, I right when you got the first part of that sentence out, I thought you were going to say Sting updated his Facebook page, which would have been a very interesting segment.
Sting
watch,
is feeling crazy working at AEW.
You know, Darby, he's a little bit younger. He's helping Sting get hip, you know, to his social media and whatnot. That could be interesting.
Yeah, the match is Darby Allin and Sting taking on the Gun Club. Both tag teams undefeated. The only fallback from guys wearing face paint is your opponents wear half of your face paint by the end of the match. Darby with a big cut on the top of his head. Darby, that dude this is not a gimmick, folks. Darby is seriously a daredevil. Did you see his suicide dive? That came in at about 150 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Towards the guardrail.
And very similar to the one we got with MJF at the pay-per-view too. I mean, this guy comes off at 100 miles an hour.
Jericho gets stomped down by 2.0 and Daniel Garcia in the back. Jericho not going to be on commentary this Friday for Rampage and replaced by Thunder Rosa, as we're going to find out a little bit later. Now, I'm jumping ahead here, but is Thunder Rosa's commentary going to be all in Spanish, all in English, or is it going to be half and half or Spanglish?
I don't know. I mean, maybe that's going to give us a future precedent for our bilingual podcast.
There you go. The Leo Rush thing on the stage against Team Taz, it was odd. I mean, it's kind of pointing back to what you said. They had a lot of stuff to force in, and it seemed kind of shoehorned in a lot, right? And I'm going to use that word again later in the program, shoehorned it in. It was Leo Rush is telling us that don't count against him at that Diamond Battle Royal next week. That's really all this was for.
Yeah, no, that's what it was for. And I mean, I got to wonder, we've talked about it a few times on this show. AEW used to be much more of a mixed bag from week to week. Now, with us having the big signees, you're going to get Danielson on there every week. You're going to get Punk on there every week. So you've got two full segments in some capacity that are spoken for that were not necessarily spoken for prior to their arrivals. And I wonder if, and really, it hasn't necessarily changed the cadence of the show. Things haven't really felt rushed or forced until last night.
It was off last night.
And I wonder if they're just trying to fit more, if it's a realization of like, all right, we might be sleeping on, some other talent now. And, that's, that might have been a little bit of what we saw.
All right. So the segment with Jade Cargill and Smart Mark Sterling and Thunder Rosa, Jade Cargill on Rampage is going to be taking on one of Thunder Rosa's trainees. Yeah. So, I mean, really, that's, to get us set up for the TBS tournament. Now, the quarterfinal match, Chris Statlander and Ruby Soho. You said you don't like people singing along to theme songs. Do you like commentators singing along to the wrestlers' theme songs?
No, I don't necessarily mind people singing along to theme songs. That's not the. Oh, I don't like the wrestlers singing along.
Oh, the wrestlers were doing it. Taz was singing along to it.
Oh yeah. I don't mind the commentators. I think that can be fine, but I don't like the wrestlers lip syncing to their own theme songs.
The winner of the match, Ruby Soho, she will go on to take Nyla Rose. Now, Vicky Guerrero set up Chris Statlander at the ramp, and Nyla Rose attacks Ruby Soho from behind. So it'll be Nyla Rose taking on Ruby Soho in the semifinals for the TBS tournament. This Friday, we're going to have Sammy Guevara take on Tony Nese. FTR versus Pac and Penta El Zero Miedo and Jade Cargill taking on one of Thunder Rosa's trainees. And then next week on Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal, Bryan Danielson and Johnny Hungy, John Silver, and Jamie Hayter is going to take on Rio. The main event, Atlanta Street Fight, Andrade El Idolo with Jose the assistant, taking on Cody Rhodes with Arn Anderson. We're going to take some time to talk about this. We're going to start at the beginning. Cody starts off the match working in his jacket because he gets attacked by Andrade, right? In the meantime, Arn falls off the stage. They did the right thing by pulling the camera away from them.
Yeah.
Because in the background, you see Jose go, come on, I'll pick you up here. Give me your hand. Then they start brawling again. At that point, you shouldn't have brought the camera back to them. We know he fell.
Yeah.
Take it somewhere else. The rest of it's for the house. As they start to work their way around the outer ring of the lower level, Cody's jacket comes off. What the hell is on Cody's back? I'm telling you, I'm not saying it because it's in post now, but I'd say to myself, literally, is Cody getting set on fire tonight?
Yeah.
Is that the protectant? I mean,
it looked like that, or it also looked like, basically whatever that like really, really tight clear wrap somebody puts on a new tattoo or something. Yeah.
But it was up and down his back. I mean, I sent you a text message that said literally Cody is leaving parts of himself all across the Atlanta.
Well, and eventually Taz references it and asks, what's that on his back? And they try to make the case that it was something.
It's like somebody laid in glue. That's what they said.
Yeah. Something fell off like in the trash can, like that somebody. Right. What did they say? Somebody had a gel pack or a gel pop or something. Like, come on. It honestly, man, like so much of this match was actually spent of me trying to figure out what was going on with his back.
Right, I wasn't paying attention to anything else, just trying to figure out, dude, every time he bumps in the ring, I see flakes of skin floating around.
And so then my thought process goes to like, how does this pan out to psychologically make sense? And I'm thinking, all right, if Aleister Black comes out, or his name's not Aleister Black anymore. What is it?
Try Malachi.
Oh, did you say John Mellencamp?
Yes.
So I'm not sure what John Mellencamp has to do with this match, but anyway, so like, all right,
Malachi Black.
Is Malachi Black going to set him on fire? But then again, if at this point he gets set on fire and he's just had the stuff over his back the whole match, that's going to take away from it. So what is he going to do intentionally, had the foresight ahead of time to put something on him to protect himself from the fire? So much of this match was me spent trying to figure out what's on his back, and if it is some type of flame
you saying that, I gotta pump to the brakes on that. There's a comedy sketch way back in the day from Sam Kinison. You remember Sam Kinison?
Mm-hmm.
My favorite line out of anything: "What's on my back? Why's the window open? Where's my money?" Son of a bitch. That's all I could think of. All right, so let me jump in here. So yes, we know something's going to happen to him. The rest of the time I spent listening to the crowd. Okay, when Cody threw his belt, half of the crowd was chanting "Throw it back" like they were at Wrigley Field.
Yep.
What can they do to help Cody? I don't think there's anything Cody can do right now.
No, that train's left the station, man. The train's left the station, and it is. I mean, if you want to ride it out for a little while, I mean, you can try to ride it out. But
you just say, "Come on, ride the train."
Yeah, come on and ride the Cody train. So
ride the train.
Think last night was an indicator. If you were going to get to a point where you could continue it as like 2006, 2007 John Cena, it would have been some indication last night in Atlanta. When 75, 80% of that crowd is booing you, I don't think you can even go that route. I think you've got to tell a slightly different story or get to that turn slightly quicker.
Who says it's a turn?
It might not be.
Right. And that's again, what can they do to help him? Because I mean, he's painted himself into this corner of not being able to compete for the AEW championship. He can compete for the TBS title, right? Or the TNT title, excuse me. Maybe he can compete for the TBS one too.
Oh, that would be great, wouldn't it?
He could compete for the TNT title, but or the tag team championships. But unless they make a trios belt or something, he's not able to go after the big prize, and he's sticking to it, right? So I'm struggling with this a lot. I am struggling with this. And then finally, they get the table out. They set the table up. Taz, saying, "Look, I'm talking from experience. I don't like the way they're laying those tables out there because somebody's going to get hurt." Finally, somebody in a hood comes into the ring, pulls the hood down, It's Brandy Rhodes. And I said I was going to say shoehorned before. This felt 100% shoehorned. This is the return of Brandy Rhodes. She wants to get back in the ring. She wants to get back and wrestle. She's here to put lighter fluid on the table. And she just emptied half a bottle of lighter fluid on there. I'm like, well, that's exactly why Cody's been peeling. He's going through the flame. Yeah. Now, Matthew, explain to us again what happened after the table went on fire.
So Cody's got Andrade up on the set. I guess they're both on second or top turnbuckle. The maneuver. I
think Cody's on the second. I think Andrade's on top.
Yeah. And so the maneuver then takes Cody through the flaming table. So it's Cody in his back that breaks the flaming table, absorbs the blow of the table, absorbs the bulk of the fire. And but I guess, as you pointed out, Andrade was actually technically on fire longer, and Andrade's face actually went directly into the fire. So somehow, Cody is able to pin Andrade and get the victory. Although psychologically, Cody says to his wife, "Hey, I'm going to do that. I want you to light this table on fire. I'm going to do this maneuver where I actually am the one who goes through the fire and the table." And so psychologically, these table spots, the person who directly takes the blow on the table, that is the person who is supposed to absorb the most punishment. So Cody,
and being
ahead of time says, okay, I'm going to put this flame repellent on my back, and then I'm going to do this spot because I know that my back is going to be going through the table.
I don't get it. It's maybe it's a mistake, maybe the missed spot. I mean, I don't know, man. But I'll be completely honest with you. If they knew that they were going to be going through the tables, maybe they should have both wrestled in t-shirts. It is a street fight.
Exactly.
Cody came out in his. Allow me to finish, if you don't mind. Cody came out in his wrestling gear like he was going to go chain link wrestling. I mean, they should be in shirts and jeans.
Yeah. And what cracked me up too, Andrade's technically in a shirt, but he's like in very form-fitting dress wear, so it's like, if I'm going to wrestle somebody in street clothes, aren't you going to want something you can move around in a little bit than a tight form-fitting shirt and slacks?
I mean, that's part of his gimmick. It's part of what he looks like.
Yeah.
There's just so many problems here. So many problems. At the end too, because as I mentioned before, Andrade had something burning on his chest. I'm yelling, put out the fire on his chest. There's a piece literally still on fire while Cody's pinning him, and he goes to pat it out. Afterwards, Brandy goes to hug Cody. The guy just went through a table and he's burnt. Don't smack him on the back.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys take chops, they take bumps, and now you're going to smack raw burnt skin?
Yeah. Here's where I hope we go to from here, and hope what comes out of it is Cody on a promo addressing a crowd that's booing him and saying, I literally set myself on fire for you guys, and this is how you treat me. I think that can, maybe that's part of the story that we're trying to tell. As much as the spot didn't make sense, maybe it can be explained.
I'm burning myself for you people, and you boom.
Yeah. So I think maybe that's our takeaway.
That's my words to Cody. Cody, I hope you're listening. You don't have to do this.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't want to see you put yourself through all this. It's not necessary. And to be honest, the gimmick and the work failed. Dude, every time you took a bump for the first 5 minutes, I saw flakes of skin floating in the air. It turned me off the entire match.
But hasn't this been Cody's thing since the beginning of AEW, since the very inception of that company? When there's a risky spot, when there's a stiff spot, I mean, it's Cody who is putting himself in physical harm. I mean, remember the chair spot with Sean Spears, remember the, was it the MJF match, the whole spot to the outside of the ring on the diamond plated stuff where he cut himself on a ramp. Yeah. I mean, Cody has put himself, on the line, and there were, they did not directly film it head on, but there were a couple unprotected chair shots in that match last night too.
Cody, I hope you hear us. We're going to keep watching. You don't have to do that. All right. Speaking of people that keep watching, make sure you keep watching for the new episodes of PWR today in audio form. So I was going to find a way to say watch and get it in audio there, Matthew. But we're available on YouTube, iTunes. Excuse me, still trying to shake this cold. YouTube, iTunes, Spotify. I know Fight TV has still got a lot of our great content up there as well. So make sure you're liking and subscribing. Matthew, it's Thursday. We've only got tomorrow, Friday, and then it's Blizzard Brawl Saturday. I think, here's what we're going to do. I think we're going to have a match-by-match preview for Blizzard Brawl, and we'll put it out there Saturday. What do you think about that?
Oh, I think it's wonderful. How early can we get in the building?
I don't know. How early can you get to Milwaukee, which is Algonquin for? The good land.
You know what? Part of that's going to be dependent upon Southwest Airlines, and they very rarely ever let me down. So, hopefully that goes well, and hopefully I can get in the building and get a beer and a sausage from that sausage company that's supposed to be out there, and just.
Well, there's a bunch of guys that'd be happy to give you a beer after they give you the sausage. So.
Oh, that's awesome! I've heard people in Milwaukee are friendly.
For Matthew Thomas, the man they call Meathead, thanks for stopping by. We're going to talk to you tomorrow morning. So long, everyone.